All right, everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast presentation. I'm your casting host, Beef, bringing you the second game in this best-of-3 series between these two players out of WCS, the European Championships. This is the lower bracket round 5, I do believe. Joining me once again for this series is going to be Brandon, a.k.a. Muatorn of Muatorn TV. What did you think about that first game?
Sorry. Yeah, it was a good game. Lowely definitely played really well in the late game, even though he did have a little bit of a disadvantage. And I have to backpedal a little bit. Apparently he won versus Thorzane. I was wrong. Yeah. My apologies.
Lowely says, who the hell needs a third base? I'm just going to kill these Terrans.
Screw that.
I'm going to... no, like, what he does is he doesn't get a third base, and then he gets like a third, a fourth, and a fifth all at the same time. Yeah. Like, when he finally breaks out of that 2-base, he's like, okay, I'm just going to take the entire map.
Yeah, it just seems like he's just too far behind in the army by the time he does, because his Terran opponent like has a third and they're already using it by the time he even breaks out. It seems really late, but it works for him. It's his style, I guess. It's
strange. But before we go on any further, we have some introductions to make. At the 5 o'clock position here on Antigua Shipyard, we have the blue Terran down 0-1 in this series. Is he going to be able to make it out of here? It's a do-or-die situation for Empire.Happy.
Yeah, and like we said, from last game, his opponent in the top left, the Red Zerg, FXO.Lowely, he's not on the Korean team. I made that mistake once. I won't do it again.
He's on the FXO International team. Or CIS team, or whatever. I mean, he's still FXO. It's still the same team. There's just two different divisions.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So you told me.
There's lots of FXO players. They have a really good foreign team.
Yeah. After I thought about it, like I recognize, Baby Knight and Lowely even. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a few other players as well. I don't
think of them.
You know what? We tried to do this once before. We're done. We're done with that.
The Netherlands.
We're terrible. Yep. We're just like state of the game, We don't know anything about Europe. No.
Everyone knows that's what the bad players are.
Speaking of Europe, though, DreamHack Bucharest this weekend. That's over in Romania, so an Eastern European event for sure. Definitely going to see a lot of FXO players in attendance over there. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. They always go to the Europe events, apparently, because they're European.
Yep. That makes sense. Do you know? That actually starts tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's over your 24-hour cast thing.
Yeah,
you can cast a little bit of that.
That will be going on during my 24-hour cast thing.
Nice.
There's going to be a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Got the OSL third place match. We got the GSL finals. Oh man! And next week is the GSL up and downs.
Yeah, those are being good.
Dude, those are going to be so good.
Up and down matches are always so good because everyone trains their ass off because they want to be in CODAS.
Yeah. Like, there's going to be some crazy players there. There's going to be a little someone named Flash.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah, once or twice.
Yeah. So
he's not very impressed, though.
Flash is going to be fighting with some other absolutely legendary players as well. Yep. It's going to be good. I don't want to spoil anything else, though. So we're gonna get into the game that we're watching right now.
Right.
We do have a 1 Rax Fast expand into Reactor Italian. It's going to be coming out here, but we do have some Zerglings actually making their way up into the main. So it's a little bit unfortunate here for Happy. He's going to lose a couple of SCVs there, and definitely losing some mining time, especially mining time there on the gas.
Yeah, that hurts. He also, scouts what's going on. I believe he saw pretty much everything. Sees the factory making and the reactor, so it's pretty obvious we're gonna have some Hellions come out, which I suppose just kind of confirms standard at this point. That's what everyone knows. We also see the tech lab going down on the barracks, the starport being built up right above it, so I wonder if there's going to be Banshees.
I think it's actually gonna be really early Ravens for clearing out creep.
Yeah, how many? 3 or 4?
Like 6 Ravens.
Whoa! He does not like creep at all.
No, he needs 6 detectors.
Yeah.
Now, how cool would that be, though? Like, I really feel like if you're going to make a Banshee,
you might as well make a Raven.
Huh?
If you're going to make a Banshee, you might as well make a Raven.
Sorry. Yeah, you should make a Raven right afterward and use that to clear some creep with your Hellions.
Well, it would save you minerals.
Yeah, it'd save you minerals, if you're doing a bio opening, I feel like that could really work. But I mean, I'm not a pro Terran player, so, and I'm sure they've all played around with that, and they say Ravens are bad, so.
Yeah, I don't buy it. I'm sorry, Ravens are like so good. They're a flying caster. What else do you want?
Yeah.
Imagine a Templar with wings. That's what a Raven is.
Yeah, I think the Templar with wings, that's actually Startail's parting.
Okay, yeah.
Because
that makes sense because he just is imbalanced.
Yeah. No, that's. Come on, that was a really good meta joke right there.
Yeah, it was alright.
Startail, sponsored by Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings. And
is that what you're going for?
And Parting is the Storm King.
Yeah, he plays Storms a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think of the Red Bull.
Super meta joke.
That you went beyond what I thought you were capable of.
I know, man.
I'm a little bit impressed right now.
I'm on fire right now. Like, really?
That was some pretty good joke there, buddy. Anyway, Banshee's coming into the main now, but there's a Spore Crawler already.
Yeah.
That sucks for the Banshee.
Banshee gets out of there, feeling dejected. She's going to go home and eat a bucket of ice cream. She's sad.
That or she's going to foolishly try to kill out drones at some point and die. That's what I see happening. That
would also be sad. We do have the Queens actually going to be focusing down this Banshee right here with an Overseer there. They are going to be able to spot out that Cloaked Banshee. But the Hellions actually being very well controlled there, picking off a lot of Zerglings without really losing anything on his side. Actually, 0 resources lost to 600 for the Zerg player. So very nice control from Happy.
Well done. It's not something you usually see. It is pretty early in the game, and it's a lot of these Hellions are damaged, so they should be dying soon. Or one's dead. It's no longer a perfect game.
Oh, sad days. And we do have one of the Queens being killed again, so that's 2 Queens lost at this point, and that Banshee is going to be able to get on out of there. Behind this, we do have the 3rd coming up for Happy, as Lowely is still contained to only 2 bases. The bunker will be going down, and the drone will probably be pulled momentarily to drop that 3rd into position. But the Queen is actually out of position to deal with the Banshee, which will be trying to snipe the drone that comes over here. Where is the drone? I want to catch this. All right, watch this drone. It's going to get so sniped by this Banshee, and then Lowly's going to be so sad right here. 1, 2, dead. Big denial on that hatchery. Unfortunately, the Banshee was killed by the Queens that posthumously tried to avenge their fallen drone. Sad days.
Yeah, but he totally denied that drone.
He did. That's a big deal because it's 11 minutes into this game, and our Zerg player doesn't have a 3rd even building yet.
Yeah, Lowely, however, just suicided an Overlord into Happy's base, saw 2 factories with Tech Labs on each, so I'm assuming he kind of knows what's up right now. It's mech. Only 3 fac right now. Probably going to add like 1 or 2 more at some point. There's 1 at least, but maybe going to add a 2nd, start producing Thors as well. I'm not sure if he has armories yet. Do you see any? Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does. Double upgrade. Once these gases come up, the 5th and 6th gases over here at the 3rd base, once those are up and active, he'll transition up to 5 factories. But right now, content to sit on 3 with 1 additional in production. But our Zerg player actually taking a little bit of map control right now with Zerglings and a few Infestors. These Infestors with very high energy right now. I believe that Burrows can be finishing here in just a moment, and there's not a whole lot on the map that's highly mobile to deal with this Zergling force. So this one Zergling is going to be able to, he's going to light the missile turret on fire, and unless that gets repaired, that's going to die. And then once that dies, there might be some infested Terran harassment, which would be very good. 4 Infestors or so worth of infested Terrans with high energy would be able to very, very quickly kill that orbital command, which would be an extremely good thing to do when you're behind in an economic situation like Lowely is.
Yeah, he has pulled his Infestors and Zerglings back a little bit, though. There are still 2 Lings that burrowed in the 3rd, so that's a great move by Lowely. Just always nice to have Zerglings burrowed in your opponent's mineral line. You can unburrow those and just harass them, and it's pretty much for free. Lowely here is also about a 3rd down his hive, so going out to Infestors, or Broodlords it looks like. Spires also started pretty much when Hive was started, so that more or less confirms it. He's also getting a Roach Warren, which I guess is just good to have, but I don't really see him putting many Roaches into this composition, as he is getting Baneling speed.
All right, and so, it was important to note with those 2 Zerglings that there was actually a turret that was queued up to be built on top of those Zerglings. And the SCV got there and said, hey, I can't do this. But that's not something you're really going to notice very often. As Happy, you're not going to go back and check to make sure that that turret built. So there's not actually going to be a turret at that third base, leaving that vulnerable to those two Lings and leaving that vulnerable to Infested Terran later. So we'll see if that does in fact happen. Right now, we do have Lowely just going to be sitting on his third, going up to that Broodlords, like you had mentioned. Meanwhile, the fourth base for Happy has been started. And this fourth factory, did he ever add on a fifth? Yeah, fifth factory as well. Going to be producing all these units as he does add on 2 additional starports, most likely going to be adding tech labs to those, as he is making that Corvid reactor, the energy upgrade for Ravens, and he's going to make the same Raven transition that he did last game. So really, this is pretty much the same game that we saw on Ohana.
Yep, it really is. It's just both players want the same kind of transitions for their late games and stuff like that. And the only difference really is that Lowely is taking his bases slower than he did on Ohana. Generally, when we saw him start taking them, he took a few at a time. He's only on 3 bases still, but his economy is still pretty good. He's ahead in flyby a little bit, but this is for his mech, so you should expect him to be. One problem here for Happy is that no upgrades have been started for his mech. He's got 1-1, and then he just stopped, which is, I mean, I guess if you're not going to keep building lots of mech, that's okay. But I feel like those upgrades make those units just so much better. It's always worth it. And also no high-sec auto-tracking for his orbitals.
Yeah, he definitely wants to keep those upgrades continuing right now, and probably has just slipped his mind temporarily, maybe allocating that gas to something different. Maybe as he's working on these Ravens, he wants to keep the gas for that. I think once the Raven production starts in earnest, he's probably going to look back at those upgrades, because he definitely doesn't want to skimp on those. But once again, going to be making so many command centers, floating out a command center over here to the top right base. And we even see the mech army moving out once again to try to deny the fourth base over here on the left side of the map.
Yeah, he has seen it with these Hellions, so he's moving over with his army. But, you know, when playing mech, this is kind of the weakness. You really can't do this. Oh, he's only going to send 2 tanks, but I mean, this will clean up the roaches, but I think he's going to lose one. Kind of rough. He might even lose both. There's just more roaches coming down. This could be kind of bad. You either have to fight with your army as a group, or you don't fight with mech. You can send Hellions to harass, which is really what he should be doing for this base. If you just full out attack it, you put yourself out of position for big counterattacks. Luckily for him, Lowely did not run by his army when it was out of position, though, so he's all right.
The Zerg player is moving out onto the map right now at 200 supply. The Raven transition, it's kind of here. He's got 4 Ravens out on the map. Their energy is not quite high enough for a Seeker Missile. Within the next 20 seconds, they'll have enough energy for that Seeker Missile. But the problem is that these starports do have tech labs on them. They're not reactors, so he's not able to double produce Vikings, which is Broodlord transition that he now knows about. He needs to have lots of Vikings in the air. Now he is going to be producing, he's at 2 Vikings right now with 3 more on the way, and then immediately after that he's going to transition back into Ravens, because he just wants to have a little bit of a stopgap at this point. And that's all that the Vikings are. The end game here is the Ravens, the Hunter-Seeker missiles, but he wants to be safe with like 6 Vikings right now to be able to deal with some of these Broodlords while he is a little bit low on the Raven count.
Yeah, I mean, Sky Terran is mostly like the unit that you want, the Ravens in this matchup, but you are going to make some Vikings, like we were talking about. Only 5 Broodlords right now for Lowely, though. Is that kind of low, or do you think it's just because he wants to make lots of, I don't know, Lings or something for later on? I really don't know what this means. It's
definitely a little bit low. He wants to trade out some of the supply and Lings before he's able to get the Infestors and Corruptors and Broodlord count a little bit higher. That's exactly what he's going to do right now, bringing the Roaches and the Lings up here to the 3rd. This is the exact same situation that happened last game, killing off the 4th base while forcing the cancel on 2 more command centers. The Ravens even once again dumping a lot of their energy into those Hunter-Seeker missiles. That's not what you want to do. He just used 4 Hunter-Seeker missiles right there to kill like 2 Roaches. Not good. He needs to save those for the Corruptors. He needs to save those for the Broodlords. He needs to save them for the big engagements, which is what mech is designed for. He has to just kind of let that base drop, build another one, and just say, okay, well, I've got to defend that one a little bit better next time. But on this circular map, the Zerg is able to do what Bio does against a Zerg composition like this, and that's really just exploit the immobility of the army. The Broodlords are going to stay somewhat centered on the map the entire time, while the more mobile army, the Zerglings and the Roaches, go around and try to attack everything. And at home, every time that those Zerglings and Roaches are lost, he's going to go ahead and remax on the more cost-efficient units, the Broodlords, the Corruptors. And we do see actually some Hunter-Seeker missiles going in right there, able to get 2 of the Broodlords very low, but this engagement is actually going extremely favorably for Lowely at this point, being able to drop a lot of these infested Terrans down and clean up so much of the army. The Vikings, though, are actually able to clean up a ton of the Broodlords, and actually every one of the Broodlords, other than one at this point, has gone down. However, he did keep good control of most of Infestors, keep those alive, but both players actually maintaining control of their Spellcaster units. The Ravens all the way up to 9 right now, and that is a good number of Ravens. Probably not going to be adding too many more after that.
Yeah, you don't need lots and lots of Ravens unless you're using the energy a lot. Generally, you want to just build up like 9 or 8 Seeker missiles and then hope that your opponent clumps his Broodlords, because if he doesn't, you're kind of screwed. Oh wow, yeah, losing all those Hellions sucked.
No, not the Hellions. There was just a line of drones. He just killed like 25 drones in one burst.
Oh, really?
Oh, where? Over at the main ramp. Oh my god. I
think I missed that.
I need to...
I'll have to watch that in the replay after. Yeah, I totally missed that, dude. I was like, that's a little bit of an overreaction for losing some Hellions, but alright, I'll go with that.
I'm like emotionally crushed right now. I feel like those are my friends.
Well, I mean, Happy is up to 34 workers killed, so I'm guessing it was quite a few that just died, because harass hasn't really been that great. Yeah,
that was a lot of drones that just died. They were just completely in a line rounding a corner right there. So unfortunate. The Zerg player taking the map control at this point is just keeping the center of the map all to himself, denying the ability of that planetary fortress to be built there at the fourth base in the center. And the Roach even going to be burrowed there as well. A planetary fortress in the top right-hand corner is going to try to thwart off an attack from a lot of these Roaches, and it might be able to if he gets a couple of these mules repairing.
Yeah,
not happening for the time being. Ravens and Vikings.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's not getting repaired for the time being. Oh, finally being pulled off to repair. These Roaches are going to die. Yes. So the planetary fortress is going to live. Very nice job.
Oh, a bunch more SCVs come in and just start repairing the crap out of that thing, so it's definitely going to live. Very nicely done.
Reinforcements have arrived, and we're now kind of at this position where there is a split map coming up. There's probably going to be an ability for Terran to take this base right here in the top right-hand corner, and then the Zerg going to be establishing his base on the top side as well, and that will be the last of the positions on the map, with the exception of the one positional base here in the center. So this is a very, very late game, similar to what we saw last time. However, both these players are a lot more even than they were in the last game, and these Ravens are really going to be the factor in any engagements here. He's still continuing to produce Ravens right now at 12. He's going to be going up to 15, and these Broodlords are all clumped up right together right now. He's trying to bait out the fungals, but Hunter Seeker missiles going down. 5 Hunter Seeker missiles going down. Every one of those Broodlords just evaporates, and that was 30 supply in the blink of an eye. The Zerg army going to be crashing down right here, and there's not a whole lot of support on the ground. A lot of the supply is in the air. Infestors taking some Hunter Seeker missiles as well, but the Roaches and Lings are able to punch through right now. Are there enough planetary fortresses to really defend? The Siege Tank's going to be trying to siege up. The Hellions going to try to take out as many Lings as possible while the Siege Tanks deal with the Roaches. The Vikings even going to be landed to provide a little bit of buffer, and some auto turrets going to be going down as well. Roaches going to make their way up to the top right-hand side of the map to try to deal with this one planetary fortress here. And I don't think there's going to be enough Roaches to deal with that as long as there's a sufficient repair. Broodlords even being sacrificed lambs to the slaughter right now as these Vikings do clean them up. And there was actually a forced liftoff over here in the bottom left-hand corner as this orbital command is being harassed by a couple of Roaches, and we do have a lot of units coming onto this planetary fortress right here with the Ling support. This planetary is not long for this world. Boom, there it goes. The 2 command centers do finish this. Oh no! One of them there was actually less than 5 seconds away from completing, and that one had to be canceled, while 2 SCVs are loaded up into the command center, and it floats away Terran player relegated back to just a 3-base infrastructure and only a 1-base economy, as everything has been denied other than his 3rd, which is actually very close to mining out himself.
Yeah, Happy really needs some bases here. He's just not going to have economy anymore. Especially losing like 3 command centers in the top right there, just trying to defend 1 planetary. And he also lost all the SCVs over there, so he's down to, what is this, 35? So he's below Lowely, who is maxed, who only has about 40 drones. So his army's really huge, and he's got a better economy with more hatcheries. So Lowely's in a great position here. I mean, if Happy does take this, it's going to be because Lowely stacks his units up so much, and then some really sick Seeker missiles come off. I really don't see him winning any other way here.
Yeah, so it's important to note that the majority of Happy's army is built to deal with Broodlords, and there are 2 Broodlords on the field, no Corruptors on the field. Ultralisks, Lings, and Roaches are not very good to deal with Ravens. So what he needs to be doing with these Ravens is flying them around in small groups, say 4 to 5, around each one of these bases. A full energy one of these Ravens is going to be able to drop so many auto turrets. If you're dropping 20 auto turrets on top of each one of these hatcheries, you can kill 3 bases around the map for nothing but energy. It's like super fast infestor harass, except they're Ravens.
Yeah, it's
and
like flying
awesome.
infestor harassment.
And they last like 3 minutes, so you're not going to be able to rebuild. Yeah, you're not going to be able to rebuild those things until you come kill them. And they actually do a decent amount of damage. They have a lot of armor and a decent amount of health. But the engagement coming in right here. The first of the Ultralisks does take so much damage. But look at all those infested Terrans coming down. Hunter Seeker missiles going down on a lot of the infestors right now. But the infested Terran able to output a lot of damage onto the Ravens, segmenting off a large group of this army. And everything on the ground is going to be dead in just a moment here for the Terran. Queen's even dropping in transfuses onto these Ultralisks. The Vikings going to be landing. Vikings versus Ultras. That is not a battle that you want to take. 1 Viking up here on the high ground, going to be able to provide a little bit of supporting fire, and the last siege tank is going to fall. And Happy, once again, dropping in supply. He has retained a lot of his Ravens, 13 Ravens, but they are so low on energy at this point. And Lowely, with the superior economy on 7 bases right now, looking to be in great shape to take this game and take this series.
Yeah, when you're engaging with this kind of army, you really don't want to lose Ravens, which is really important, but you also can't lose your tanks. If you lose all your tanks, you have to restart producing. It takes so much longer than it does to reproduce those Ultras or even Broodlords, really, just because you can't build 10 tanks at once. You have to build however many tech lab factors you have, so that's kind of rough. But we have seen engagement here in the middle of the map. It's not really going to be that long. Happy should be retreating here. He can drop some auto turrets. Oh, actually, a really big fungal. He might just fungal all of these Ravens to death, and actually that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, GG comes out of Happy. That's what I was watching for there. I saw those infestors come out, and with all those Ravens grouped up together, 1 fungal was going to make Happy a very, very sad man. That's exactly what happened. Happy was dead before that for sure, but that is definitely the nail in the coffin. As this series goes 2-0 to the FXO player, Lowely moving on.
Yeah, again, he just has that weird style, but he makes it work.
Yeah, it's very strange. We saw it once again. Says 3 bases, who needs it? Sit on 2 bases, then just win the game in late game with really, really good control, which is what he has. Kind of crazy.
Yeah, apparently if you expand it 13 minutes, it doesn't matter.
Yep. All right. Well, that is the end of the series. That's going to be doing it for us casting today. I've been your casting host, Beef. Joining me, Brandon, a.k.a. Muatorn from Muatorn TV. Why don't you do yourself a little plug in there, and we're out of here.
Yeah, you can go to youtube.com/MuatornTV, just MUATARAN, and then at Twitter, just at Muatorn, same spelling, but no TV.
Sounds good. Those names are spelled out there for you on the overlay. Also check me out over at Twitch and YouTube, BeefPotPie1, and Twitter at BeefPotPie1. Also make sure to tune in this weekend, Saturday the 20th. Going to be doing a 24-hour cast for charity in association with extralife.org. That is extra-life.org. Check them out if you want to participate or support my event or any of the other events that they have going on this weekend. Going to be having a lot of fun. Hope to catch you guys there. We're done for the day. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.